45 miles an hour is the quoted top speed of this dual motor 60 volt electric bike. With a 5,000 watt peak power output, 105 Newton meters times 2, and a full suspension frame, this looks like a lot of bike for only $13.99. And maybe even less if they give me a discount code for you guys. You can check out all that by scrolling down to the video's description, or you can scan this QR code with your phone's camera. It'll take you right to their website and guarantee you the absolute best price on it right now. Today we're gonna be taking a close look at the 60 volt Philodo Forester. And after that, I'll be taking it outside for a shakedown ride where I'll put it through all of these real world tests. Right now, I gotta top up this 26 amp hour battery with the supplied 2.5 amp charger. And in the meantime, why don't you guys check out these slow motion beauty shots? I'll see you guys in a minute. Couple things you should know about this bike. First off, the bike weighs 95 pounds and has a weight capacity of 330 pounds. It's got an IPX6 waterproof rating, and it's available in 3 different colors: Forester green, orange, and this all black version like I've got here today. So starting out back, the Forester rolls on a set of 26-inch tall by 4-inch wide CST BFT tires. We've seen these tires on a lot of e-bikes before. They've got a pretty well-rounded tread pattern. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too smooth. These tires are gonna be good pretty much everywhere we go. You get plastic fenders in the front and in the back. The drivetrain looks pretty generic. 7-speed Shimano tourney derailleur. It's protected with a cage. Nice to see. That's matched up, of course, to a 7-speed Shimano freewheel. And to finish it off here, you get a huge chain ring protected on both sides with a guard, some pretty generic cranks, and some plastic pedals. There's no weight rating anywhere I can see on the rack itself, but judging by the 3 little screws that hold it up, I really can't see it being any more than about 50 pounds. Taking a look at the seat now, it's nice and soft, tons of padding, pretty wide pattern here, and tons of seat post here if you've got some long legs. For me though, I'm all the way at the bottom here. The Forester's a full suspension frame, and in the back there's a 4-bar linkage. This type of linkage is very popular amongst all mountain bikes because it keeps the rear suspension really nice and responsive. And check it out, they even put an air spring on this bike. This is really nice to see. It's a pretty basic one though. All you have is a little valve here to put in more air. There's no rebound or compression adjustment, but this is a really nice touch. Love to see that. And up front you get a Philodo branded front fork. Looks pretty generic, no adjustments on the bottom. They say it has 100 millimeters of travel. It has a lockout switch here on the right and a spring preload here on the left. Pretty basic stuff. Looks like a nice projector style headlight in the middle here with some LED accents around the outside. We'll turn it on in just a sec, but first let's take a look at the controls. The handlebars on the Forester are mountain bike style. They've got a little bit of a rise here and they're not too wide actually. Nice and comfortable. On the right side, you get a rubber ergonomic grip. No lock-ons here, but it looks like they're pretty tight. You get a half twist throttle. You get a key ignition here. Nice to see because without this, you can't get any power to the bike. And up here's your 7-speed Shimano shifter. And on the left here, you get the rest. Same ergonomic grip, but this one's full length. You get a remote for your lights and horn. And the simple remote here is gonna handle the bike's electronics. You get a plus and minus button for your pedal assist modes, as well as a power button. Nice and simple. Okay, let's see what this screen looks like. First, we got to turn the ignition key on, hold the power button. There we go, a little boot sequence. Nice. So it looks like a nice color LCD. You get a battery meter here on the left with voltage. Nice to see, some extra detail here, not just 5 battery bars. In the middle, of course, you get your speedometer in miles or kilometers an hour. Down here's a little display showing you which motor is on. Right now, it's just the rear motor. You can have them both on or just the rear. On the right here, you get your pedal assist modes, goes from 0 all the way to 5. And then down here at the bottom right, looks like you can cycle through your trip, your odometer, max speed, average speed, or battery voltage here. And then on the right, you can go trip or odometer. Let's spin the wheel, see how fast we can get the bike going without any weight on it. So it looks like a nice, slow, gradual climb all the way to 45 miles an hour. Okay, let's take a look at the headlight. Turn it on here. We'll adjust it down. Wow, look at that. Nice, sharp LED headlight, projector style with that straight line at the top. And it's nice and wide too. It should line up the entire lane ahead. Very, very nice. And here's a close-up of the taillight. The bike's on right now, so there's no daytime running lights, but it does get bright when you hold the brakes. And when you turn on the headlight, it does light up, again, getting brighter with the brake. Looks like the taillight has turn signals, but it's not. It's just the additional brake light. Taking a look at the brakes here, looks like you get a nice set of 4-piston DY Island hydraulic disc brake calipers, and they bite onto 180 mil rotors. And it's the exact same setup front and back. And here's a close-up of the DY Island hydraulic brake levers. Looks like you get an adjustment here, but that's not to bring the levers in or out. It's just to adjust the bite point on the brake lever. Here's a close-up of the rear hub motor. It's a 2,000 watt motor that peaks at 2,500 watts and generates 105 Newton meters of torque. And that's times 2 because you also get one in the front wheel. So let's check out the fit on this 60 volt Forester here. All right. So for reference, I'm 5'9", and I can get my feet on the floor with my toes on either side. Yeah, the seat is all the way at its lowest point here. So this is as good as it gets. So they say on the website that this bike will fit a rider anywhere between 5'5" and 6'5". So if you're anywhere in there, you'll probably fit on this pretty well. Nice thing is with this is that they give you a huge long stem here. So this can be shortened up. Probably what I would do, shorten it up, get you a little bit more upright, because right now I'm kind of leaning forward, but you know, lots of room for adjustments. Okay, I think I've seen enough. How about you guys? Why don't we take this thing outside and see how it rides? Good morning. Philodo Forester 60 volts. What's this bike all about? Today, we're gonna find out. And I'm not here to sell you this bike. I'm here to ride this bike, and we're gonna find out all about it together. All I know so far is that it's a dual motor 60 volt bike with a ton of power, and it's under 1,500 bucks. That's what I know. So is it gonna be able to climb hills? How fast is it gonna go? Is it gonna be able to stop in time? And what kind of range are we gonna be able to get? I have no idea, but we're gonna find out together. And with the test that I'm gonna show you, I couldn't bullshit you if I tried. You're gonna see exactly how the bike performs. No fluff. So let's get going. So first test of the day, let's do the hill climb. I always start right here in my fire hydrant, and up ahead's a really long sustained hill, about a 15% grade. I'm gonna go pedal assist number 5. And why don't we just start with single motor, right? So this is a 60 volt bike, and I think both of these motors have over 100 Newton meters of torque each. It's a pretty decent start. Got up to about 20, 21 miles an hour before the hill really started. And then wherever the single motor settles, I'll stop it there. There we go. About 17 miles an hour. Let's turn on the front one. Oh, yes. Just shot all the way up to 28 miles an hour with the second motor. Okay, let's head over to Test Drive Island, really unlock the bike and see what it's got. But just before we take it to Test Drive Island, let's see how it accelerates. And since this is a dual motor bike, I'm gonna do 2 different tests just to show you guys what a dual motor bike is all about. Now, I've got the bike set up. Hopefully you guys can see. I can barely see it with my polarized glasses here. I've got the bike right now in single motor mode. I'm in pedal assist number 5. I'm gonna go throttle only. 3, 2, 1, go. It's a slow controlled start. 10, 13, 15, 18, 20 miles an hour. So we barely got there. Let's turn around, set it in dual motor, and see what the difference is like. Okay, same deal, but now let's switch the bike, click, click, into dual motor mode. You guys ready to see the difference? 3, 2, 1, go. Nice slow controlled start. Here we go, here's all the power. 14, 18, 20, 23, 26. Much faster. Like as soon as this thing starts to ramp up the power, it just pulls, man. Like it's 60 volts, come on. Woo! So we've seen how well this Philodo Forester climbs hills. We've seen how well it accelerates with a single and a dual motor setup. Time now to figure out if their quoted top speed is accurate. So on the website, they say that this bike's max speed is anywhere between 40 and 45 miles an hour. And it says here in brackets, the actual speed is related to the load, capacity, battery power, and road conditions. Well, I have a full battery. We are on very smooth roads. And for context, I'm 190 pounds right now. So if you're heavier, if you're lighter, you may get different top speeds. But no traffic, you guys ready? I'm gonna go dual motor. Let's get the best available, throttle only. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Nice controlled start. Oh, I should turn my GPS on here. Here we go, 30 miles an hour already. Here we go. 35, 36. Come on, keep pulling. 37. No, 37 miles an hour is as fast as I can get it going today with me on it and with throttle only. Maybe this is one of those bikes that you can get faster by pedaling. So let's turn it around and take a look at the pedal assist modes. So to test the pedal assist modes on this bike, you guys know how I do it. I'm first gonna start with no power. So this is just me gonna be in the granny gear, trying to pedal the bike, this big bike, dual motor, big battery without any power whatsoever. And then we'll slowly incorporate some power into the mix and see if we can get close to that quoted 40 mile an hour top speed. You guys ready? Oh, by the way, in the first couple of tests here, I had the screen on very dim. So I've punched up the brightness. Hopefully you guys can see it a little better. So let's get going. Granny gear, no power. Yeah, it's doable. You know what might help? Just putting the seat up a little bit and just getting a bit more stretch out of my legs. Just gonna go up like, you know, maybe 6 inches or so. And let's do that. Much better to pedal. So it's doable, right? Like if you run out of power and you gotta limp it home, not a big deal. It's a heavy bike, but it's doable. Pedal assist 1. I'm gonna drop a couple of gears here. Pedal assist 1 gets me up to about 13 miles an hour. Oh my God. Pedal assist 2 gets me up to about 18. Woo. Like every time I go up a pedal assist mode, there's so much more power being thrown into the mix. This is crazy. 24 miles an hour in pedal assist 3. Pedal assist 4, oh, just pull some more. 30 miles an hour. Hey, let's see what we can do. Oh yeah. 35, 36, 37, 38. Woo! Well, I got a little bit faster, 38 miles an hour. Now, could we have gotten up to 40 miles an hour if the top speed test was the first one we did? I don't know, maybe. I'm still showing 64.6 volts in the battery. I really can't see it being a big difference. If you guys really want me to, I can definitely do a different test and I'll put the results in the video's description. I can update you guys on the top speed that I got with an actually fully freshly charged battery. You know what? Sometimes what happens with these batteries is that when they're brand new, the performance isn't quite there. You give it a couple of charges, a couple cycles, you hear a lot of people talking about that. The bike actually gains a little bit of performance. So time will tell. So while we're out here testing the pedals and the throttle, let's do that. Let's see how responsive and see how much control we actually have over this bike's power. First of all, something to touch on is that this bike doesn't really like put you in the back of the seat as it accelerates right off the line. It's nice, slow, and gradual. Like, you'll never lose control of this bike. The power actually like comes on very smooth, but as soon as it does and you start to get rolling, it just ramps up. It's pretty cool. But it's not like, you know, you can burn out off the line, right? Nothing like that. So let's see. I'm gonna use the throttle right now. Just crack it. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna come to a stop here and let's see if we can just crawl along. So I'm in pedal assist number 5 right now, dual motor mode. I've got the throttle just cracked and I'm just limping along at 4 miles an hour. So pretty nice. Gonna give it a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, 7 miles an hour. A little bit more. Perfectly controlled. Like, it's nice and detailed. Like, it just feels like every little millimeter that you pull back just gives you that much more power. It's very controlled. Obviously, there's a lot of power there, so you got to take your time, but very easily managed. And how about how fast the power comes on? Watch this. It's like instant. Well, it might be like a couple milliseconds of delay, but yeah, it's really good. I like this throttle. And then the last thing to check is how fast the cadence sensor starts kicking in the power. So I'm gonna go back into the granny gear here and I'm gonna start pedaling now. Yeah, so it's about a revolution and a half to get power. Watch this. 1 revolution, power. Yeah, so I get power when my foot's on the back end of it. And the other thing to keep in mind is that this bike has a little bit of overrun. Overrun is when you stop giving it power. If you stop pedaling, you actually still get a little bit of power after you stop. So that's one thing to kind of get used to, and you do that in your first couple of rides, right? You're gonna get used to how the bike behaves, how the power comes in and out, right? You're gonna figure that out very quick. But overall, very impressed with this bike so far. So as we head over to get set up for the brake test, I kind of want to give you guys my very brief first impression on the bike. And I gotta be perfectly blunt with you guys. For under $1,400, Philodo's giving you a lot of bike here. Think about it. 60 volt system, 26 amp hour battery. Yeah, sure, it could be a little bit bigger, but come on. 1,300 bucks and change. Dual motors that have a ton of torque and a ton of power. You know, I'm a little bit bummed out we didn't get to the quoted top speed of 40 miles an hour, but 38 miles an hour is close enough, and I really feel like with this type of bike, a few charges, a few cycles of the battery's gonna get more powerful. I bet you anything, and we're gonna get close to that 40 mile an hour top speed. But so far, so good. Time for the brake test. Here's the marker I want to stop at, and I've got about a 20-foot distance to the first marker here. I'm going to try my best to go 28 miles an hour, which is what most e-bikes go to, and slam on the brakes with the Philodo Forester here. And I've got DY Island hydraulic calipers. I've had these brakes on a lot of other bikes before. They perform very well, but this is a heavy bike, dual motor, right? And it's got 180 mil rotors. So let's see what kind of braking performance we get. I'm gonna turn around here. Let's go into dual motor just so that we don't have to go too far to get up to 28 miles an hour. There we go, already there. Oh man, this bike has a lot of power. Okay, here we go. Let's turn around. Woo! Front wheel spin. Okay, 28 miles an hour already, 27, 28, and I kind of get the feeling like this bike would do better in this braking test with a slightly bigger rotor in the front. I felt like I just couldn't get a ton of bite on the front. It just kept on rolling. The rear locked up, no problem. You guys probably heard it. I was skidding the whole way down here. But the front, I just couldn't get, you know, bite down to the ground and really a solid bite between the caliper and the rotor. The other thing to keep in mind is that these CST tires, they're not the grippiest tires out there, right? They're kind of like all-around tires. They're mediocre at everything, right? And that includes grip on the road. They're gonna be okay off-road, they're gonna be okay on the road, right? If you guys want better traction on the road, you go with road-specific tires. Those are gonna have a softer rubber. They might wear out a little bit faster, but man, they're just gonna grip the ground like Velcro. And same thing goes if you want to get this bike for off-road use, right? Then get something with taller knobbies. Same thing, they're probably going to be a little bit softer rubber just for extra grip, but they're going to dig in, they're going to bite onto whatever they're in contact with and give you a lot better performance as far as sticking to the ground, right? On to the next one. Time to take the Forester into the forest and maybe onto the beach. We'll see how high the tide is today. But man, dual motor, 60 volt bike. This thing should eat the beach for breakfast. Let's go. Okay, nice and easy through the barriers here. Don't want to hit the camera. Let's go. Woo! Oh. Oh, a little wet and rained last night. Let's go this way. Nice. Not a lot of mud. Oh man. Whoa. Woo. All right, we got some beach. Okay, big beach, big bike, big power. I set up the drone behind me. Let's see if it can chase me onto the beach. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah. Oh man, this thing is good on the sand. Here we go. Woo, woo, woo. Man, it just digs into the sand, and the dual motor is actually super good on the beach because it tracks, right? Like when the front end just sinks into the sand and you turn it, it just tracks. So it just pulls you to whatever direction you want to go to. Oh, it's so good. Whoa! Okay, let's see if it can pull me up here. Yes, no problem. Nice and slow through here. Whoa. Okay, let's get off the beach and talk about this bike. Now it's time to get back through the forest. Woo! Whoa! Ah! Sharp turn. Ooh. Man, this thing is so good. Oh man. Like I was saying, this thing is very, very comfortable off-road. It's kind of meant for trails like this. So if the trails you intend on riding your bike on are somewhat like the trails I'm on right now, you're gonna be in good hands. Okay, let's take 2 minutes to talk about this bike. And instead of doing a long, drawn-out conversation of talking about everything that I like about this bike, because I'm pretty sure that by this far in the video, you guys have figured out what I like about the bike. I'm going to talk about a couple of the things I've been taking notes on, some of the things that I would change on the bike, some of the things that, you know, if I was to keep the bike, I would fix and change and swap out, and just to make it more feel like a premium bike. And you guys might laugh at me because these 5 little things are pretty petty, right? Which hopefully shows you guys that for 1,300 bucks and change, Philodo's giving you quite the bike here. Let's start with my favorite thing to bitch about, grips. I hate these grips. I would swap these out for some nice, soft rubber lock-on grips. A short one on the right and a long one on the left. Easy fix, Amazon, 20 bucks, maybe. Second, and this also goes with the controls, I would get a nice short stem. Like, look at this thing. It's like 80, 90 millimeters long, right? I understand why they put a stem like this on this bike. You know, be able to make one size bike to fit most people out there, right? But for me, I prefer to be a little bit more lean back and upright just to enjoy the ride, right? So I'd get a nice short stem and I'd get much higher riser bars. I've got a set of 90 mil rise bars with a nice short stem at home. I'm gonna swap those out and go for a ride and maybe update you guys in the description, but that's definitely what I would do for the controls. The third thing I'd change, look at this. I don't know why they did this, but the rear fender stops here, right? Like, I thought the goal of a rear fender was to stop mud and water from hitting you, right? And, you know, like, how much would it have cost to get a fender that just goes down here, right? Now you've got a fender that stops right here. All the mud and water is just gonna go right onto your rear shock, right close to your controller box. And look at this. This is another thing that I don't get. There's a big hole right here at the top of the controller box. I don't know about you guys. You might live in sunny California where it rains 2 days out of the year, but here in the Pacific Northwest, it rains half of the year, right? So if you're using this bike to commute or just go on rides and you get, you know, magically rained on just out of the blue, you're gonna get water in the place where all the electronics are. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's such a good thing, right? So, pretty easy fix. Get a longer fender, or, you know, get yourself like a piece of hard plastic to just continue the fender down there, just to protect the rear shock and protect your feet from getting all that water and mud onto it. And then that hole would be pretty easy to patch up. You could either just tape over it or maybe like silicone the actual hole, right? I mean, maybe they do that just for ease of passing that wire through, but you know, it could easily be filled. And the last thing I change on this bike, and you guys saw it with the braking test, is I would upgrade that front rotor from 180 all the way up to 203, or maybe even bigger if I can find the right adapter. All you have to do is change the adapter that the caliper mounts onto, and then get yourself a bigger rotor. Super easy. Again, that's maybe a $40 to $60 upgrade, right? Super easy. You can order everything that I talked about here. You can order on Amazon for probably less than 200 bucks. That's pretty good. So, final thoughts, and who do I think should buy the Forester 60 volt from Philodo? If you're looking for a fairly large bike that can hold a lot of weight, that can push a lot of weight and pull a lot of weight, if you're looking for a bike that goes just under 40 miles an hour, maybe up to 40 miles an hour, depending on how much you weigh, if you're looking for a bike that laughs in the face of hills, if you're looking for a bike that shines in loose terrain like sand or snow or mud, come look at this bike. because for 1,300 bucks and change, I don't think you're gonna find much better out there. You guys heard, you know, the 5 small things that I would change on this bike, you know, maybe 200 bucks. You don't have to do them all at the same time. And that's just my personal preference, right? I'm kind of spoiled. I've ridden so many bikes and, you know, I've got a little bit higher standards, but I always have to kind of remind myself that, dude, like, this is 1,300 bucks and change, right? Dual motor, 60 volt, 26 amp hour battery, full suspension, air shock, lights, fenders, right? Like, come on. So if the Forester 60 volt sounds like it's the perfect bike for you, click on the link in the description, or better yet, use your phone's camera to scan this QR code. That'll take you right to Philodo's website, and it'll guarantee you the best price and promotion that's going on the bike. And don't forget to use my discount code, because it'll save you another little bit off the price of the bike. And while you're there, check out all the other bikes from Philodo. They have a ton of different choices out there. From bikes that are cheaper with a bit less power to bikes that are a little bit fancier with a cooler frame. There's a ton of choice on their website, so go check them out. And if the Forester 60 volt is not the perfect bike for you, that's okay. Maybe the bike in this video will be more of what you're looking for. I'll see you guys over there.